So we're just out on a quick hike
In the rain.
in the rain, nice and cool this morning, and we're going to stop and have a brew in a minute, and Jerry's going to run us through some tips for using Condy's crystals.
Potassium permanganate.
Yeah, which is commonly found in commercial survival kits and the like, or at your chemist. So once we stop, Jerry will run us through that.
Whiskey Tango Tango. So welcome to the track. We're out of the bunker, the weather's calmed down a bit, it's not shittingly hot, and now we can go out and go walking, so which is really good. I've just stopped by the side of the track. It's a beautiful area, just to show you one of the bits of kit that I carry everywhere with me. It's called Condy's crystals, or commonly known as potassium permanganate. So this is going to be in a series of episodes. We're going to do some survival kits and some first aid gear. This goes in both of those. So by now you would have seen our channel. If you like it, subscribe, and that means you'll keep up to date with all the bits and pieces that we post, and also like, and it gives us an indication that whether you like it or hate it. So hopefully you like it, and you can give me some ideas about what we're going to cover. So Condy's crystal. Who is Condy? Who fucking knows? But I call it potassium permanganate. It's really old school medical and survival. Often found in your survival kit. Let's face it, you should be building your own survival kit, not buying one off the shelf. If you do, you need to know the contents and you need to know how to use it. So this small container is found in Bob Cooper. Bob Cooper is fantastic. I do recommend all his kit. He knows what he's doing, and the kit's real stuff. It's not some gitchy Chinese stuff that doesn't work. So Bob stands by his stuff. He instructs the regiment. He's a good guy. He knows his shit. So you'll find this potassium permanganate. I won't call it Condy's crystals because I hate the name. Okay. So what it is, they're little crystals. These can be used for just about anything. They are like the Swiss Army knife of survival equipment. So you can light fires with them. We'll show you that later on. You can disinfect wounds with them. We'll show you that later on. You can treat fungal conditions of your feet. Really? Absolutely. You can wash out wounds, and you can sterilize water. You can also use it as a marker. Well, not quite Arctic warfare. You can use this as a marker in snow. If you get caught in an avalanche, it goes really shiny and bright and purple and stuff like that. But even in water survival, you can use it as a survival. If you're in the sea and you let this off, then the whole water surrounding you goes kind of purple, kind of funky, especially if you like the Dockers. But anyway, so all those little things all in one little crystal. So what we're going to use this for is basically in our water. So I'm just going to go through, this is not going to be an extensive episode on potassium permanganate. It's just going to be a short video of basically the water stuff. So we all take water with us. We can carry our own normal kind of water with us, or if you want to get funky, you can go and, oh, well, a little bit of discharge there. So we can use one of these, which is going to be really good if we're going to irrigate a wound. So just to show you, obviously this is going to be kind of clear. We'll kind of show you what effect just a few crystals can do. So we'll go through water filtration and water sterilization. Obviously, if any water sterilization, you've got to have clear water. It might not be potable water, but it's got to be clear, which means free from organic matter. And like I said, there'll be a separate episode on sterilization, and part of sterilization is filtration, just to make sure that you actually don't get any organic matter in it. So use our little nipple pocket. There we go. Look like Wonder Woman now, look at that, or Madonna. We can now introduce our different levels of watercolor, and this is not very precise. I'm sure all the chemists and stuff out there are shaking their head and say, oh my god, you've got to be a bit more precise, but where I come from, you don't have to. Okay, so literally this is going to be just a few crystals. If you see that go down like so, then we can see the color it goes. So this, in fact, I think if you look at the books, it just says 1 or 2 crystals. So 1 or 2 crystals probably makes up drinking water. So this is probably just a little bit too much, although if it depends how tainted it is. So your level of water filtration or your water sterilization obviously depends on the activity of the water. If you've got some really sus stuff that you just don't know, obviously filtered it, so you know there's no organic material in it, but you don't know what else is in it. This is probably good to go. So this is a survival thing. I wouldn't be taking this in my lunch pack every day, but certainly if you want to kill nasty bugs, then this is the level of purple that you want to go. And that's literally just a few crystals make this color. Leave it to sit for 5 to 10 minutes to let the little crystals do their job, and then off we go. That's a starter. So we can go just one step further. This is literally just a few crystals, and these are cheap as shit in the shops. Just go to the chemist or your Woolies or whatever you go to, and they literally can get a great big pot. And like I said, we can start fires with them as well, with spontaneous combustion. That's really good. So just undulate it slightly. Okay, and now we've got, hope you can see that, that is just slightly darker. So this now, especially in this lovely squeegee bottle, can be used to irrigate wounds. Okay, so if you've got a wound in there that's got gravel and shit in it, you don't need a syringe, you've just created your own irrigation bottle. So with force, and obviously, you know, the harder you squeeze, then the more force is going to come out, then you can dislodge quite serious organic matter in wounds. So step 2, this is now used as a sterilizing agent, or a disinfectant, should I say, disinfectant agent or fluid for cleaning wounds when you're on the go, using exactly what we're taking. We haven't got any other special kit. It's got this little packet of Condy's crystals or potassium permanganate, and your water bottle that you're going to take everywhere with you anyway. So that's just a little bit more. Now what else can we do with it? Okay, so often if you go on these big treks, then you get some gummy feet. So this can also be used to deal with fungal infections. Bear in mind, it's pretty potent, this stuff. So fungal infections, just a few more. Like I said, it's the Barrett School of Measurement, so it is what it is. You basically want to go at the colour, because it's done by volume. I can go through some annual fucking statistic where you say you need so many crystals per million mils of water, but who the fuck's going to do that? So I always go by colour. As you can see, this is just a little bit deeper, and this could be used for fungal infections, namely feet, horrible, grotty, smelly feet. So if you've got some horrible itchy thing down the bottom of your feet there, and it smells nasty and it's giving you some strife, then you can either squirt it through or in between your feet, or best off is to soak your feet in this stuff, and your feet go brown. It's like instant tan as well. So there we go. That's item number 5. You can also get an instant tan out of this stuff as well. So it goes brown after your feet have been in there, and that's really, really good for fungal infections of feet. Although I'm sure there's other bits of your anatomy that can get a fungal infection. So crack on and fill your boots if you want to go and paint yourself brown. It might work for you. Anyway, so one more to go, one more colour of purple to go, and this is your hardcore stuff. So this is if you ever get into a situation where you have to do a little bit of an operation on yourself, God forbid, and you haven't got any proper tools. So part of sterilisation of a surgical instrument, you can either do it by chemical sterilisation, heat sterilisation. So this comes into the chemical sterilisation. Obviously you're not going to do heat under pressure, or you're not going to be boiling it. So boiling it arguably will, fishtail boilers you can sterilise instruments with, or you can doesn't get rid of spores. Then you can get your pressure cooker, and that will get rid of spores because that's heat under pressure. That is the ultimate sterilisation. That's what we use in the operating theatre, but not going to find that over here, are you? What you do have, you have your water and you have your potassium permanganate. So this really dark colour of purple, this can now sterilise equipment. I shit you not, this can sterilise equipment. So if you did have to operate, and I'm not talking appendectomies here or amputations, we're talking what are you going to be doing in the field? We're going to be debriding wounds and debriding boo-boo blisters, aren't we? Okay, so if you've got a knife or a razor and the stuff in your survival kit that you're going to slice the roof off your blister, if you're into that kind of thing, I don't recommend it, but some people do. Or if you're going to take some bits and pieces, debride some wounds, if you have had a bit of a tumble and you've got some nasty, horrible, raggedy bit on your wound and you want to suture it up, then you want to debride it, and you've got a knife or a blade, then basically you're going to soak this in here half an hour to an hour, and you can do a good sterilisation. Just some of the things. So we just tackled water here. Like I said, we're going to start lighting fires with this little bad boy here. Add some sugar, add some glycerine, spontaneous combustion. It can happen in the wet, it can happen in the cold. So watch on for another episode when we go out and we start playing with fire, God forbid. That's all from us. So thanks very much for watching. Remember, if you like, subscribe, then push the little thing down the bottom. I'm not into this internet stuff, so I'm sure there'll be something down the bottom to show you. Subscribe to our shows, shows you how much you like us. Leave some comments. Have you had any particular occasions when you've used Condy's crystals or potassium permanganate in anger? Any questions about how to use it? Feel free to go. So thanks very much for watching, and until the next show, let's go.